know, open up some tabs, multi-twitch it up. And here we go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the South Korean Terran player. Oh, I need to fix, there we go. The South Korean Terran player, the red Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And oh, spawning in the top left, going for a 15-15, we have the German Zerg player, the blue Zerg representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Lambo. We go. It gets harder. Oh. Does. What are you insinuating, Pappy? But yeah, it's going to be a 15-15-15 hatchery into a 15 spawning pool, so a very, very interesting opener here from Lambo. Typically, we see this on maps like Golden Aura, or Golden Aura is kind of the go-to here. It's essentially a gasless opener. It's a way to get your queens out a little bit faster, to get your lings out as well. You will be a little bit more secure against this build, against the 2-Rax Reaper. And that is what should be coming out from ByuN, but ByuN, no, he doesn't go for the second Rax. Okay. Lambo, he's blindly trying to go up against and trying to prepare himself for additional Reapers, but no, it's going to be a Rax factory. ByuN, mixing it up. Let's go. He's not even making it. Oh my, he's not even making a Reaper. He's going Marine first. Again, ByuN, he has so many different openers up his sleeve, whether it's 2-Rax Reaper, 3-Rax, or even a Rax factory here on the low ground, which he has adopted over time. It's going to be a Rax expand into the factory here as well. And Lambo is yet to come across this. But now he's just happily droning. He did go into his gases. These are delayed gases, but gases nonetheless here for Lambo. As he is now checking the wall, Marine has been spotted. And ByuN shouldn't be... there we go. I was going to say he shouldn't be able to kill this without lifting up a building, and he will lift up the Rax. He will chase down this Overlord. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, there is no way out of this, and this is going to supply block Lambo for a little bit. It's going to be quite annoying. Overlord does go down, locking Lambo into 28 out of 28. Does have another Overlord now on the way alongside the third base. Lambo, upon seeing the Marines, he knows that, again, he can cut corners. Lambo doesn't need to make lings. He can just drone, because there's no Reapers to contend with. Oh, we want another Overlord. We want it. No shot. We shouldn't get a second Overlord. Yeah, the pillar is close enough. We should get there just in time, as the Overlord will barely arrive. Whew. Thank God. Only one Overlord goes down. Behind this, ByuN getting into a 1-1-1. Very aggressive build here from our Terran player. Getting into his 1-1-1. Essentially delaying his third CC in favor of aggression, in favor of additional units. Marines are racing back home, going the long way around, and Lambo, he's just droning, saturating his bases. He is not skipping link speed. Link speed is still on the way. And we're going for an early game medevac drop. This is so peculiar. This feels like, obviously this is a special opener, but this feels like a Gumiho variation of a special opener, where we have a medevac on the way, some vanilla Marines, a couple of Hellions here and there, and this can do a surprising amount of damage, especially because this is a Hellbat push. The armory is on the way behind the natural. Hellbats are going to be available, and if Lambo drones up too much, if he's too greedy, then he's going to be in some trouble. Now, thankfully, Lambo, he's making 3 queens at a time. It should be enough. We should have enough here, as we are making additional queens. Oh, Overlord is going to be going down. Only 4 Marines here with this drop, but it's designed to just hunt down Overlords. It's going to be Hellbat with Banshee. Oh my god. Hellbat, very committed play here from ByuN, going for a Hellbat Banshee push. How many queens do we have? We're up to 6. We're going to be up to 8 queens. A good queen count. We have a couple of lings on the way. We're going for a safety Bailey Nest as well. You love to see it. And here we go. The Hellbats, they have arrived. Bailey Nest is still on the way. I thought we were going to wait for the Banshees, but no, we're pushing in. There's so many queens. And here we go. The lings are coming for us around. They get on top of the Marines. 1 Marine goes down. Hellbat gets forced back, and ByuN will not gain any ground here. He will have to retreat. Does get another Overlord. Does supply block. Oh god, the supply blocks here have been brutal. 5 Overlords on the way. Oh my god. That was 6 actually. They are coming out. Lambo can now focus on his defense. Meanwhile, ByuN, he is expanding. He is transitioning out of this. It is not a 2-base all-in, but very committed nonetheless. Here we go. The Banshee makes its way into the natural. There is a Spore Crawler in position. Oh, we're going for the Banelings. Really nice pickoffs. 2 Banelings go down. Ooh, Banshee does take a lot of hits, though. As we're just going to be clearing up creep. We're not going to be committing. We have plenty of queens here to force us back. We're up to 9 queens now. Spore is waddling forward. We will have to retreat. Again, ByuN getting into his transition here into additional Raxes. It's going to be 4 more Raxes, 5 in total. Working on that 3rd TC. Again, just a very messy build here from ByuN. I think messy's the way that I want to, but it's just so all over the place. And there's potential here, but Lambo holds. And sure, he lost Lings, he lost Overlords. This is true. He hasn't traded too well. But Lambo, he's maintained control of his economy. He's on 3 bases. He should be working on a 4th hatchery soon. And from here, he can just stabilize. He hasn't taken economic damage. He's okay. And ByuN, there's so much more pressure on him to get damage done. He pushes on forward. He gets on top of the queens. Up. Gets 1. 1 queen. He wants more. Can we transfuse? Doesn't quite get another queen. At the same time, Banshees, they dip into the natural base. But we have a queen and an overseer in position. And ByuN overextending a little bit. No! Will lose his Banshee. At the same time, though, bailing speed is not done. He does force a cancel. The splits. Splits are looking good. ByuN trading so efficiently. Does lose the medevac. But he takes down 2 more queens. As he does lose a couple more Hellbats here in the retreat. But, I mean, Hellbats, they're cheap. They are cheap units. Back at home, he's transitioning. And, yeah, ByuN, he did a surprising amount of damage. But Lambo has been droning behind this. He's droned up to 80 already. His worker count is looking impressive. And he's getting into Lingbane Hydra. Behind this, ByuN just now saturating his 3rd. Still 1 step behind. As he's trying to get into his 1-1, into his bio upgrades. He's going for another push. ByuN, he has no chill. No chill at all. ByuN just pushing on forward once again. And what's he going to be hitting with? Stim. 1-1. Combat Shields is finishing up just in time. And we have 2 tanks with this army as well. Not a bad push, but mailing speed is already completed. And Lambo, he can take this slow. We're going to be clearing up some creep. But Lambo, we got 30 more Lings on the way. We have a macro hatch in between all the bases. We're double expanding. I like this double expand because the 4th base was delayed. The 4th has been delayed. Even though Lambo has 80 workers, he has been able to mine efficiently from this worker count. So taking 2 bases at once makes plenty of sense. He's spreading out creep, and ByuN has been slowed down. These are really good tank spots, but there's no reason for Lambo to push in. There's no reason for Lambo to engage. He backs off, and he's going to be lying in wait. ByuN securing this position. He's going for a drop on the left-hand side. Behind this, he's taking gases. ByuN, he's not going for a 3-base all-in. He's taking a 2nd factory, 2 more gases, and we should be seeing a 4th CC momentarily for ByuN. Does dive onto creep. Doesn't really lose too much here. Just cleans up creep. Gets eyes on the would-be 5th. ByuN, he's now... actually doesn't get eyes on the hatchery. Not fully aware of the expansion. Good tank positioning, but we do get on top of the tank. Will go down. Not a bad pickoff. ByuN down to 1 tank here on the front lines. This position significantly weaker. Hive is on the way. Of course, all of our upgrades as well. And we are going to be collapsing this position. The Marine's out of position here. Tank is going to be focused down. But Lambo, do we really want to fight off a creep like this? Oh! Yeah, there are just too many Marines. Lambo, he has to respect this. He has to back off. I do like that he killed the tank, though. Just keeping the tank count low. We're down to 1 tank once again. But we are making 2 tanks at a time. Here we go. We're rallying across the map. This push, we still have to respect it. Constantly respreading creep. Getting more Lingbane. Once the Hive is done, we can get into Vipers, and Vipers will change everything. It'll make this defense so much easier. We now have 4 tanks on the front lines. We still need those Vipers. Lambo, he's maxed out. He can't make anything. Just pureling main Hydra. Setting up for a big counterattack even. Oh, Queen goes down. Creep is receding. And do we have anything back at home? A tank gets caught. Big pickup. Tank goes down. We get on top of the defensive tank as well. Good split with the Baileys. We get into the mineral line and there's no escape. SCVs will go down. 20 SCVs and we bust into the natural as well. We force back the Marines. The army comes back home, exposing the tanks. We don't collapse on that quite yet. But again, that's 20 dead workers. Still wandling in the main. ByuN's economy in shambles. He has to commit. And back at home, oh my god. That's a lot of Bailings waiting for him. The Vipers, they have arrived. They're just gathering up energy, and once they do, they can deal with those tanks. Even without them, we could probably collapse on this. But Lambo is just biding his time, waiting for those Vipers. And here we go, they're coming out! And we're once again engaging with the army. Blinding clouds are thrown down. The tanks have rendered inert. They do nothing. And we will clean up ByuN's army. He loses every single one of his tanks. The Marines, they do survive. We have to respect that. Lambo does have to retreat. He's backing up, gathering up more energy. Building up more Bailings. And Lambo, he's getting ready for the second wave. And ByuN has nothing behind this. He's down to 56 workers. He's down to, what, sub 60 supply compared to Lambo. Is going for some drop play, though. I do appreciate this. Gets the drone. Trades while it gets the Lings. Gets the hell out of there. The medevac! No! Medevac almost goes down. But ByuN comes across the would-be 6th hatchery, which is cancelled. And Lambo's remaxing. He's remaxing once again. Lambo in full control of this game. The scariest moment was the first push. Or the first tank push, I should say. From there, it's been smooth sailings here for Lambo. Especially once he eviscerated that mineral line. He's been content here at 90 workers. He's taking a 6th hatchery. He's pushing towards the 4th base. Tanks are in position, but we have the blinding clouds. Once again, they're thrown down, covering the Marines as well. We shut down the tanks, and Lambo is snowballing out of control. What do we have left? Bailings are running out, so we should respect that. There we go, we will retreat. But we're making more Lings. Oh. More Lings are on the way. Another blinding cloud as well, covering the army. GG gets called, and Lambo will take game number 1. Whew. GG. Oh my god. Very well done here from Lambo, keeping up with the unorthodox play of ByuN. And if I didn't put as much emphasis as I should have, if it wasn't made clear, ByuN was crazy that game. He was not playing standard at all. He was being hyper aggressive. Remember, he opened up with a 1-1-1 into 2 more Raxes, went for a Hellbat Banshee push. The Banshees did no economic damage. The Hellbats also traded with the Queens. They didn't trade with the workers. And we doubled down, delaying the 3rd base even further. So ByuN, even though technically he wasn't all in, he was still very committed. He was playing in such a way where he had to do economic damage or just straight up kill his opponent. He did neither. Lambo, he was able to hold on to his workers. He was able to keep up with the army, go for counterattacks, and shut ByuN down. ByuN, he put himself in a really rough position, essentially. Now we're getting into game number 2. Here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alkyone, we have the South Korean Terran player representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the German Zerg player leading the series 1-0, representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Lambo. Here we go. And again, that last game, ByuN was playing crazy. It was, it was insane just how aggressive he was, how in the face of Lambo he was, and Again, because he was never able to get into a mineral line, he was never able to really touch the economy. The most amount of damage he did, outside of killing, I think he killed like 2 or 3 queens, was delaying the 4th. That was something that he was able to achieve, but outside of delaying the 4th base, remember right after that, Lambo, he double expanded. He was able to spread enough creep, and he was able to eventually regain control of those bases and be able to be saturated on 80 workers. ByuN. Going for the polar opposite this game. Game 1, he was hyper aggressive. Here in game 2, CC first. Let's go. CC first on ByuN, which makes plenty of sense. I mentioned before in our first series of the night, I was talking about how I didn't really like how Amaris went for a 2-base all-in on ByuN, just because of how long the rush distance is, how many bases there are, how macro-oriented this map is, which is why I didn't like the 2-base all-in from Amaris, and why I do like the CC first here from ByuN. As it's going to be a CC first into a 2-1-1. It could even be 3CC 2-1-1 even. So very economic play here from ByuN. Again, this is something that I do think you can get away with a little bit more on a map like this, on such a large map like ByuN. Back at home, Lambo going for a hatch gas pool. To wind it back as well, as a reminder, it was a while ago, but in game 1, Lambo also went for a 15-15 opener, 15 hatch into a 15 spawning pool. It did look like Lambo was trying to hard counter ByuN's Durax Reaper, and in the end, Lambo kind of put himself behind by ByuN not going for that build. Likewise here, we do see a very different follow-up here. Actually, that's 3 Raxes. Oh my. Oh my. That's not just... That is 4 Raxes coming out from ByuN. Oh my god. So, on the one hand, I do really appreciate that Lambo, he's going for a much more standard economic opener. Hatch gas full into a 3rd. Really good stuff here from Lambo. ByuN on the flip side, going CC first into a 4X. Very aggressive follow-up. Economic start into an aggressive follow-up. This is going to be a very strong timing. Mass Marines with Stim and Combat Shields. This is going to hit before Metamax. So, the dichotomy here, the way this works is we're going to have a lot of firepower. We're going to have a lot of Marines really early on. They're going to push out. They're going to be devastating. But we have very limited stims. We have 2 stims, essentially, with the army. Really only 1, depending on when it's used. So ByuN has to be very careful with when and where he does stim his army and how aggressive and where he decides to dive. Now, this build does need a trade. It doesn't have to kill a base. It's not all in. Don't confuse this. This is not all in. You do transition out of this into a 3rd base and into a factory, into a starport, but this does have to trade well. If it doesn't, then Lambo will be ahead. Just because of how much we're delaying the 3rd CC. When I say trade well, you know, kill queens, trade evenly with the lings at least, and push forward, clear up creep, push forward towards a 3rd base. We'll see what ByuN is able to achieve with this. Again, he's still just massing up more Marines. Lambo is in the dark. He is not really aware of what's happening. He did see the CC first, so he's aware of how economic the start was, but he doesn't know if it's a 2-1-1, a 3-Rax, a 4-Rax, 3CC. Lambo, he hasn't gone into the main. He has no idea what's happening. For now, he's just droning. He's happily droning, getting his queen count up, and this is terrifying. This is usually a build that you need to scout with an Overlord, and we haven't. The army's moving out. We do hide most of the Marines, so Lambo, he sees Marines, and he may just think it's a 2-1-1. He still doesn't know, but now he does. He confirms. Ling comes in. We need more Lings. Queens are in production. He pulls everything together. He's aware of how much danger he's in. 14 Lings on the way. We bring every queen forward, even the ones in the main. And with all our queens with reinforcing Lings, Lambo, is he going to be... He doesn't have too many Lings, though. He's got 10. Oh. He has 10 Lings, Papi. And here we go. We still have the ramp. We're pushing through the Lings. We're getting on top of the queens. And Lambo, it looks like he's been too greedy. He droned up to 3-base saturation. Wasn't ready for this. Had no idea what was coming. The boys, they have to be pulled. And this is more than paying for itself. Ay, ay, ay. Every single queen goes down. ByuN completely unscouted. The 4X completely caught Lambo off guard, and with that, ByuN, he's just in a commanding position here. Behind this, he's getting into his starport production, to his medevacs. ByuN is going to get cleaned up, but he gets 7 worker kills and resets the queen count. It's going to be impacting the injects, impacting the economy. Lair just now on the way. ByuN, he may not have killed his opponents, but he has set himself up for success. Like, that was an insane amount of damage done. And again, Lambo just never went for the Overlord Scouts. He only confirmed what was happening when the army was moving out. It was too little, too late. Now Lambo, he's in a rough position. Now, he isn't dead. He's working on a 4th base. He has a standing army. If ByuN overextends, if he throws away too much, and if he trades inefficiently, then Lambo can come back. There is still comeback potential, but he has to rely on ByuN making mistakes or forcing mistakes. As ByuN, he's got his 3rd TC on the way. Additional Marines are on the way as well. And yeah, Lambo, he can't quite contest with this yet, as he's still building up his own army, recovering from the damage that he sustained. Turning back up to 60. ByuN, oh, even going to be supply blocking Lambo here. As he moves forward towards the natural. We do have a massive amount of Lings waiting for him. And only one we moved out with 1 medevac. We're crazy. Oh my god. Oh my god. Bold move here. Now we go for the add-on swap. We got 2 more medevacs on the way. Lambo going for a counterattack at the same time. Hoping to catch a 3rd base, but the 3rd hasn't been taken yet. ByuN going to the safety of the Zonaga. He does come across the mass Lings. ByuN, he knows that he's safe and sound back at home. He knows that there are no Banelings, and he can keep pushing. This time with a tank and with medevacs. He can stim more freely. He can be more adventurous with his army. Lambert trying to come in from behind. Baneling speed still halfway done. It's not ready in time. It will not be ready for this. But Lambert does have a good position here. He can still collapse on this army and swallow it up. ByuN trying to spread out his units. Yeah, tank is exposed. We get a full surround. And Lambert is going to force the pickup, but we have too many Marines. We leave some behind. And Lambo does force ByuN back. Again, that was a bit of an overextension from ByuN, but he didn't lose too much. He lost a tank and a handful of Marines. Lambo, though, he holds onto his base. He's barely treading water here with his workers. He still needs to drone up even further. 2-2 on the way, Infestation Pit. This was a good start, though. A good start for Lambo. Getting a kill on that tank. Ooh, rushing into a hive even. Bold move. Hive is on the way. ByuN is getting his 3rd CC up and running. That's the 2nd factory. We're taking gases. ByuN, he's not going for a 3-base all-in. He's going for a 4th CC behind this. There it is. 4th CC is now on the way. So ByuN, he's macroing up, looking to go further ahead. And he's going for a split push as well. ByuN getting caught out a little bit. He's going to trade well against these Lings, but oh, he's losing a little bit too much. Does lose a big chunk of those Marines. And once again, getting caught out here as well. ByuN slipping up a little bit. He's been bleeding out a lot of Marines. And he's stopping himself from snowballing out of control, from building up his army. Behind this, though, again, he's looking for a longer game. And Lambo has the opportunity to stabilize. Again, because he's rushing into this hive, I do think this is going to work really well for him. With that, he can get into Fast Vipers. Fast Vipers, Fast Adrenal. And Lambo should be able to just stabilize. Does catch a lot of these Lings. Sorry, a lot of these Marines. Once again, a lot of Marines go down. ByuN being a little bit careless here. And Lambo is finally reaching that juicy spot of 80 workers. We're getting into an Ultra Cavern even. Interesting. Okay. So Ling Bane into Ultras. Vipers in production as well. Lambo, he's kind of hitting that sweet spot. His ideal army composition. He's almost at his ideal worker count as well. We have 8 more drones on the way, and now we're going to hit that 80+ worker count. And Lambo, he has recovered. He has stabilized. And again, to be fair, a big reason for this as well, as we're even seeing here, ByuN, he has been throwing away a lot of units. He has been throwing away a lot of Marines. Otherwise, by now, he should have been maxed, to be honest. ByuN, he should already be maxed out. He is on a 4-base economy. I mean, he is soon about to max out as well, but this push has been delayed. And this is still anyone's game. Looking at the tech here, still no Ghost Academy. Despite the Hive and despite the Ultras on the way, there aren't any Ghosts yet. We're still in a very ByuN heavy composition. ByuN gonna rotate around. Did he see the lair? He did. He's aware of the lair. Pushing on forward. The creep is a little bit lacking in between the bases. Oh, the power bombs. The power bombs, they shut down the medevacs. There will not be a drop in the main. The mine shots. Oh my god. ByuN trading damn efficiently here, not wasting a single mine. Now the shots are gonna go off. Big connections. Good stutter stepping here from ByuN, but he is gonna be forced back. At the same time, double drop into the natural base. Spore Crawler goes down. A gas geyser. Not much else though, as ByuN is forced to pick up. Forced to pick up into the main base. But this was a more efficient trade here from ByuN, outside of losing the medevacs. The medevacs is brutal, and he may lose another as we're forced to drop. We have an army pushing on the left-hand side. Lambo is keeping up though. Oh, and he will shut this down. No pickup. Instead, ByuN focusing on his push. He may lose part of his army, but he's getting on top of this hatchery. And this base is going to go down. Hatchery falls. ByuN, he gets the hell out of there. No, he actually doubles down. He's dropping into the main. Goes past those Vipers into the main base. And I do think that there is a lot of pressure on ByuN to get even more done. Going for +3. And he gets it. +3 is going to be denied. Lambo getting ready for a massive counterattack is spotted by these Widow Mines. ByuN, he's in position. Nice bait here on the mine. The army is deflected. But ByuN, he is now ramping it up. He is now turning it on. It feels like he was almost asleep at the wheel for a little bit, but no, he's back. He's in this. He's getting a 5th base. Gonna be landed on location. And the drop play continues. Do we have a Ghost? We still don't have a Ghost Academy, which is concerning. We do have a couple of Ultras on the way. They have been spotted. Now we have the Ghost Academy. It feels a little bit late here, but at least it's in production for ByuN. There is a window. There is a window now available where Lambo can maybe try to take advantage of ByuN's army. There's a window where ByuN doesn't have those ghosts. Here we go, Lambo trying to collapse on this. Good blinding cloud on the tank. Parasitic bomb as well. Mine shot goes off and ByuN is going to be able to hold on. Doesn't lose too much. God, this is a pretty Marauder heavy composition. And we can't help deal with these Ultras. The mine shots go off. The fungal. Massive fungal of the army. We do get caught out. Lambo. A good trade here. A good catch with that army. Looking to keep on going though. Can he commit? It looks like he can. The tank is going to go down. ByuN gets completely surrounded. And ByuN, he's barely going to escape with this army. Another blinding cloud gets thrown down as well. And Lambo, he is more than just back in this game. He's ahead in this game. He shuts down this army. We have more Ultras in production. Still no ghosts, by the way. A hatchery will fall. But Lambo, he has pushing power. Like, look at how exposed these bases are. There's nothing at home. There's no tanks. There's no sensor towers. There's nothing. Now is the time to push. There are planetaries here at these fringe locations. These drops, they're keeping Lambo busy. If it wasn't for this drop play, he could push and like these bases would die. 100%. But alas, the medevacs, they keep Lambo busy and ByuN is remaxing. He's rebuilding his army. ByuN is still in this. Same time, going to be pushing on the left-hand side. Big mine shots. Oh my god. The fungal will connect once again. We drag the mine shot. We kill a medevac. Oh my god. Lambo. Does take a mine to the face though, but he shuts down the drop nonetheless. We're still waiting for some more power bombs, and we can shut down these medevacs. Drop going into the main. Ooh, Lambo not quite in position. He's focusing on his push. The ultras, they're exposed. Might just go off the ultras. They take a lot of hits. And we're going to be committing. We're diving on the army, but I feel like this is an overextension. The ultras are going down. Expensive losses here for Lambo. At the same time, 7 drones go down in the main. But it looks like Lambo has realized you have nothing at home to defend. We get into the mineral line. The ghosts. Ghosts are going to be going down as well. A good trade here from Lambo. And he just keeps on pushing. He's pulling ByuN apart. Likewise, though, Lambo may have lost too many ultras earlier. Has to back off. Has to rebuild. It's a couple of depots before backing off. Lambo still has a bank to work with, and he's pushing up the ramp into mines. Up. Big mine shots here on the lings. We're diving on the army. Big fungal as well. Lambo, he will catch us, but is he running out of steam? Is he overextending? We're trading well. As we barely do get another ghost. Liberators, they have arrived. The freedom, it's here. As the final ultra will go down. ByuN still on a decent economy. Lambo hasn't been redroning. Uh-oh. He's still at 64 workers. Lambo, he's burning through his bank. He needs a skull base. He needs a skull base up and running. Currently, ByuN has the better economy. And this hatchery is going to be going down. The lack of anti-air for Lambo, it's now hurting him. The Corruptors, he's got a couple of Hydras, but I think they were morphed into those lurkers. Yeah, Liberators are rocking up. Lambo, he was looking so good earlier, but he's being pulled apart. The drop play, the Liberators. We don't have any Hydras. 9 Hydras are on the way. Every Hydra previously was morphed into lurkers. So very limited anti-air. Liberator finally goes down. Lambo down to 62 workers. He has these 2 fresh bases, but he's not mining. Yet he needs to find them. He needs to find the time to drone. Meanwhile, as he does, ByuN maxes out. He takes his own gold base. Still has these fringe bases up and running. ByuN has recovered. Good fungals here, but slaps are going up. And remember that window? We were talking about how like there was a period in time in this game where ByuN didn't have those ghosts, didn't have liberators either. But now ByuN's army is ideal. You know, he's got his Bioforce, a good amount of ghosts, a good amount of liberators as well. And he can trade so much more efficiently. The time of the ultras has come and gone. Oof. Mine shot's gonna be going off. Ducklings, they do connect. But the snipes. A lurker goes down. Oh, we dodged the fungal as well. Good moves here from ByuN. Now gonna be walking into a wall of lurkers. But alas, the snipes are too good. 2 lurkers go down instantly. Up. We do need another scan. So ByuN is being forced back. Lambo barely holding on here with Hydra Lurker Viper. He is going to be holding on. ByuN still maxed out. He catches another Infestor. Lambo, I believe he has kept his Vipers alive. Got a couple of Infestors as well. ByuN going to be pushing through the center. Lambo a little bit out of position with his lurkers. Could try and go in for a surround. Oof. Big mine shot though. And ByuN, you can see how he's kind of changed his approach to this game. We have planetaries all over the place, CCs all over the place, turrets, sensor towers, liberation zones. ByuN, he's essentially just cutting the map in half. And Lambo has the opportunity. We need a drone. Lambo, he's still on 66 workers. He still doesn't have the economy to, like, he has a bank, don't get me wrong, but I am worried as more lurkers are going down. Expensive losses here for Lambo. Looks like Lambo is opting to go for a super maxed army, which means we're staying on a low worker count, focusing on army supply. It's a very all-in way to play. Very committed, I should say. As Lambo, you just can't mine from this gold base. It's not happening. He's being bullied back. Hatchery is going to go down. Lambo trying to get in for a surround as well. The ultras, they come from behind. No fungals. Bit of friendly fire as well with those Widow Mines. Ooh, a lot of ghosts go down. Not a bad trade here for Lambo. Not a bad trade from him, but he does lose an ultra. And he still doesn't have the gold base mining. Down to 61 workers. Taking another hatchery. Oh, even a little bit oversaturated. Like, again, the economy of Lambo is lacking, and it's hurting him. In the long run, I should say. As ByuN, he has arrived. He's going for the hatchery. He's going to get it. Base is going to be going down. Another CC being taken here from ByuN. Now, there is a world where maybe Lambo can take a fight. If everything goes well, if he, I don't know, hold position micro on some lurkers, or banelings, or a good surround even. A good surround, a good fungal. The problem is that ByuN, he isn't going for these like big committed attacks. He's going for drop play. Just these small skirmishes here and there, these small armies. Even if he does take a fungal to the face, it's not everything, it's not the end of the world. The problem is that ByuN is being very careful. And I mean, I don't blame him. Like, ByuN, he almost died like 10 minutes ago, or maybe like 8 minutes ago. So ByuN is just being very careful. Doesn't want to throw it away. He's on match point. One more loss and Lambo will take it. Here we go, Lambo getting ready for an assault here on this planetary. It should go down. ByuN, his army's here in the center of the map. The fringe base is exposed. There's no sensor towers. And this planetary should go down. ByuN's going to be responding. Rushing back over. Planetary will fall. The whole position! Let's go! Let's go! The whole position micro. We do get on top of the ghost, but was this a good enough trade? It looks like it was! The trap! Wait, when I said whole position micro lurkers, I was kind of joking. I was like, man, there's no way he's gonna actually... He did it! Oh my god! Lambo, he does catch a good chunk of those ghosts. He takes a massive supply lead. He takes down a base. Let's go. Oh my god. Lambo. And suddenly, Lambo, he has momentum. He still is lacking an economy, and Lambo is struggling worker-wise. He doesn't really have much of a mineral bank. He's coming in. He wants to collapse in this position. Here we go, from behind, from every angle here. Gonna try and go for the surround. The tanks will fall. Can we get on top of the ghosts? The ghosts take kite back to the safety of the planetaries. Lambo, he cannot push forward. The ghosts, they pop off. Yeah, lurkers are falling left and right. We try to engage here, but it's an overextension. GG gets called. ByuN will hold. He will tie up the series 1-1. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. Again, Lambo, he had no longevity in this game. We spoke about it. We brought it up a couple of times. But again, Lambo, he had no economy, which meant he had no bank, which meant if he did end up losing his army, he would not be able to replace it. He would not be able to rebuild. That's what we saw towards the end there. A little bit too ambitious for Lambo to try to dive on that position. It was just so heavily fortified with planetaries, missile turrets, the Sim City working against Lambo, and ByuN did take it in the end. GG. Which means we get an ace match. We're going all the way to game number 3. Whew, let's go. Oh my god. And our players are asking for a small break. I completely understand. That was an intense game, a very intense game, and it was very back and forth. Remember, winding it all back, it all started with ByuN popping off with his 4-axe. His 2-base 4-axe did so much damage. He killed, what was it, 8 queens and 7 workers and cleaned up all the lings as well. Like, ByuN, he set himself up so well at the start of the game. And then we saw ByuN be really careless with what, like 4 or 5 drops in a row. Like he kept going for drop play, he kept moving out with his marines, and he kept trading pretty poorly and kept losing just too many marines over the course of the mid game, which allowed Lambo to catch up. It allowed Lambo to eventually get up to 80 workers and max out. And ByuN, because he was a little bit careless with his marines early on, it meant that he was never able to build up and max out and push until much later on. And then it was more of a back and forth. You know, we saw things swing in favor of one player than the other, and in the end, ByuN, of course, did take it. It was beautiful. Beautiful ZVT. And now we're getting into the ace match. Let's go. Let us go. The lurker play was so good. The whole position lurkers, mate, they were the MVPs. They almost brought Lambo back into it. It was great. It was beautiful. But here we go, we're getting into game 3, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Site Delta, we have the South Korean Terran player representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent, we have the German Zerg player representing Shopify Rebellion as well. This is a team kill. It is Lambo. Here we go. And yeah, that was an intense game 2 there on Alkyone. Again, it's a map that is known for its split map scenario, for its late game. Unfortunately, as the game progressed, for the last maybe 5 to 6 minutes of that last game, Lambo, he just didn't really have much of economy. He wasn't droning. He was refusing to drone. Just doubled down on nothing but army and did peter out towards the end. But here we are in the ace match, and in the ace match for the first time this series, actually ByuN, no, sorry, he's not going for a 2-Rax. He's going for a Rax into CC, into factory. We saw this in game number 1. So, really interesting. I want to believe, actually, just making sure, okay. I want to believe that ByuN, he's refusing to 2-Rax his opponent just because they're so familiar with each other. I want to believe that this is the case. I want to believe that, I imagine that ByuN and Lambo, they practiced and put in a lot of work together when it comes to refining the 2-Rax Reaper, and ByuN, as a result, he's just not doing it, which is crazy. Like, it's not like ByuN has been adverse to going for 2-Rax Reaper recently. No, we've been casting ByuN every day in ESL Americas and ESL Asia for this entire week. And ByuN, every ZVT, he goes 2-Rax Reaper, but here he's kind of pulling back a little bit. He's not quite going for that, at least not against Lambo. Again, I'm really curious if it's just a player thing, or maybe it's just for tonight he wants to avoid that. Here we have the Rax into CC, into factory on the low ground. Oh, never mind. Oh my. Okay, this is really risky, but we just leave the natural open a little bit longer. We're not going for the factory, so this is not the build that we saw in game 1. This is something very different. Rax expand into 3 Raxes. Are we going to throw down a 4th? I mean, ByuN, he found a lot of success with the 4-Rax in the last game. He may be looking to replicate that. As Lings are rocking up. So far, ByuN able to deal with this, able to clean this up. Lambo, of course, going to be taking his third base. He did see the bunker as a part of the wall. Lambo is in the dark. Thankfully, Overlord is getting in position. Remember, the lack of Overlord scouts in the last game almost killed Lambo. So I'm sure he's going to be a little bit more on top of it this time. And now we can see that it's not a 4-Rax, it's a 3-Rax. So this is a very similar build to last game. Very similar. But one big difference. Less Marines. A faster transition out of this. So we are going to be moving out with an abundance of Marines. We're going to be hitting a timing with Stim, but unlike the previous game, ByuN shouldn't be diving. He should be threatening the creep, should be clearing up creep, but pushing deeper and fighting alongside the queens would be a mistake because, again, ByuN is going to have a lot less, and it's so much more important for ByuN to preserve his Marines just because he's going to be working on a faster third CC, and he's going to have to defend it. Compared to the last game. Again, this is all in comparison to a 4x. So, again, it's very similar in the sense that we're going to be moving out, but far less committed, and Lambo is going to need far less to defend. As back at home, we're just building up the queen count. It's going to be droning as well. In the last game, Lambo, he droned up to 60 without making any lings, and that's why he was caught off guard. This time, Overlord is edging ever closer. Marines are pushing out. Again, Stim is on the horizon. The Ling does spot the move out. Lambo knows, and all of the boys are being... Oh my god, this is a very different variation. We're just doubling down. It's a 2-base all-in. Mate, when was the last time you saw someone pull the boys in a TvZ? This is a rare sight to see. Oh my god, usually this is done against Protoss, but ByuN just doubling down here. He does salvage that bunker. He's sending it. It's all or nothing. The queens are pulling back. The boys are getting ready to be pulled as well. Lambo setting up for a surround. And here we go. It's all or nothing. ByuN forcing his way up the ramp into the main base on top of the queens. Gets one queen. Soon to get a second as well. The boys, again, we have to pull them. The drones are being pulled, but the Marines are doing so well. They clean up the Lings, they clean up the drones, and we're going for the queens. Now, ByuN is running out of steam. Lings are coming in. And Lambo, it looks like he should be able to hold on. The queens, they stand strong, they transfuse. Lings coming to reinforce. And that's all that ByuN had left. At the same time, what is there at home? Nothing. 24 SCVs. ByuN, he's trying to transition. There's no transition from this. It was all or nothing, and ByuN, he traded with the army, don't get me wrong, but Lambo did so well, kiting all the way back to his main base, pulling everything back, buying as much time for Lings, buying as much time for reinforcements. And now Lambo, he is far ahead. He's ahead in workers, he's working on his Evo chambers, Bailey Nest as well. ByuN is going to try to recover, but it's a long road to recovery here for ByuN. Oh my god. Here we go. Additional Raxes are on the way. Getting up to 4. Getting up to 5 Raxes here on 2 bases. ByuN moving out once again. Still no third CC, so very much so all in here from ByuN. He shouldn't be too adventurous with these Marines. I feel like we're building up towards a stronger timing later on. So ByuN has to be very careful. Yeah, he's just going to be chilling here. Parking outside of creep. Lambo does see the Marines. Oh, he's supply blocked. Yeah, there's a little bit supply blocked. We have 5 more Overlords on the way. But Lambo, he should be free to drone. Just drone up, saturate his bases, take his gases, get a lair. No lair, so it's going to take a while here for Lambo to really be aggressive. It's going to take a while for Lambo to really be assertive. But despite the fact that Lambo can't really, again, be too active on the map, he should be safe. He should be safe back at home. Like, the creep is looking good. He can spread all of his creep. He can take more bases. He can drone up. And he should be able to muster up a standing army. ByuN moving out with the second wave, this time with a tank. Medevacs are rallied across the map to meet up with this army. So we are going to commit here. We are pushing towards the 4th. But the queens rotate around. We have Bailings as well. The army has been spotted. A good scout from Lambo. Yeah, he can collapse on this army. The tank is unsieged. ByuN, we're going to get out of here. Oh my god, he does stim. Lambo respects the stim. He backs off. Tank does siege. Again, we're just trying to lure the army onto creep. Lair, late lair, 8-minute lair timing for Lambo. That is going to be a delay on the bailing speed as well. So Lambo, he can't really engage off of creep, but he sees the army retreating, so he can just spread creep here and just keep establishing himself. Behind this third TC from ByuN. Now being taken. Can ByuN recover? He's on his way. Going for a double jump into the main. Unscouted. Uh-oh. Lambo's army's out of position. His queens as well. We're getting into the main base. We're going to get some damage done. We're looking to anyway. Lings, they do come out just in time. We're going for the evo chambers. Plus on melee is going to be denied. A nice pick off from ByuN. At the same time pushing on the right hand side. There's no creep here, which means this army hasn't been spotted. Bailing speed still on the way. ByuN is going to get on top of the hatchery, but we collapse. Yeah, we just dive on the army instead. Good tank shots. Uh-oh. Bailings, they get focused down. ByuN, he can take a fight, and he will take this down. Gets on top of the hatchery, he will force a cancel. Again, a rough trade without Bailing speed. A rough dive from Lambo. And ByuN, he can keep on pushing. The Overlords! Oh my god! 4, 5, 6 Overlords. We're gonna get 7. We're gonna get all of them. 2 of them barely do escape. At the same time, ByuN dropping into the main base. Queen goes down. Drones as well. ByuN, he's pulling Lambo apart. Give this man a couple of medevacs, couple of marines, and he can make some magic happen. Oh my god. 9 drones go down. And the gas geyser as well. And ByuN, he's not done. Again, doing a great job just containing Lambo to 4 bases. Back at home, saturating his 3rd TC. Moving out with his tanks. Bailing speed still on the way. Very late. Without it, ByuN, he can actually win fights. As we just saw, like with good tank positioning, with good target firing, there's a world where these Bailings never connect. Bailing speed now halfway done. ByuN is going to be pushing. Double jump into the main, keeping a lot of the army busy of Lambo. Oh, can he catch the army? Oh. Cannot. As ByuN, he's pushing forward, getting on top of the 4th base. Tanks are sieging. We do have a lot of Ling Bane, but the queens are going down one after the other. Not the best trade from Lambo. Here we go. He commits. He's diving in. He will go on top of the tanks. Bailing speed finally kicks in. But good target firing once again from ByuN. Will lose the tanks, but he trades so well with the marines. The target firing, oh my god. The focus fire on every single Bailing. One Bailing does connect though. Takes down the army. That was almost perfect. ByuN playing with fire. Does get burned finally towards the end. But Lambo, he's still treading water. And here comes the second push, the second army. And how many Bailings do we have? 0. 0 Bailings for Lambo. He's not ready for another wave. He is dealing with this drop. There it is, 6 Bailings now in production. We can dive. Yeah, ByuN, he knows. Stims on forward. Marines are going to be engaging with just pure Ling. Not the best trade here for Lambo. And the Lings, they're just melting. The Lings are all going to go down. That was a meat grinder. Again, you just cannot engage. Not without Bailings. Not like that. Bailings, they finally waddle in, but there's no support for the Bailings. And we can just stim on forward, get on top of the queens, drop into the natural base. ByuN coming back from the brink, coming back from a failed all-in. The Bailings. Oh my god, this army is so heavily overstimmed. Losing a medevac doesn't take a Bailing to the face. Dropping into the main, and ByuN, he's running out of steam with the second army, but hey, we got more reinforcements. We're still pushing. And ByuN has done enough to overwhelm Lambo. Lambo is down in workers, down in army. Soon to be down in upgrades, as ByuN is about to kick in with 2-2. Oh my god, he's going to get the queens. Queen's going to be going down. At the same time, Lambo does go for a big counterattack. He breaks into the natural, into the main base. He will get economic damage done, and he's forcing ByuN to turn back around. He changes his mind. He turned around for a moment. SCVs are going down, and we're going for a base trade. Lambo is just sending everything across the map. Meanwhile, so is ByuN. The base trade is the only way for Lambo to win this. Hatcheries are going to be falling. Lambo still second-guessing himself. He does get into the 3rd base. There's nothing at home to defend. The SCVs! Ooh. SCVs are going to be going down. At the same time, we're dropping into the natural. Again, base trading with Ling Bane is so awkward here, and... Oh, the Banelings! Oh my god, that was so close. That was so close! Lambo causing a lot of chaos. He gets 41 SCVs. He's still wreaking havoc. These Lings are getting out of control. Lambo, has he done it? Has he finally done it? Oh my god, he was at death's door. The base trade was the only way. It was the only way, Flappy. Widowmines, they do arrive. ByuN, he's down to 8 workers. 8 SCVs remaining here for ByuN. He probably should have turned back around. Ay, ay, ay. He has lost everything. There's nothing left here. And when it comes to the standing army, as time goes on, Lambo, he's making more Lings. He's producing more Lings, more Banelings. He has an army ready to counterattack. He has an army back at home. And ByuN has a comparable army as well, but Lambo, he can keep this up. He can sustain himself. ByuN cannot. He's going for a single Marine drop, or a single drop of Marines. He's stuck back at home. Lambo back in the driver's seat. Up! Oh, that was a big mine shot there. we gotta be careful. You have to be careful. Again, ByuN, he's actually working on 3-3. His upgrades are insane. Or soon to be insane. We'll see if he can live long enough to get into that. Lambo taking a 5th base. Skyrocketing ahead here when it comes to army supply. Oh my god. That's ByuN. He's still trying to look for damage here. ByuN, he's already come back from the brink already once this game. Can he do it again? He went down to 8 SCVs, and he's muling hard. That's a lot of mules. But here we go. Lambo looking to push out at 150 supply. Got 20 more Lings on the way. ByuN has a good spread, but there's barely anything to spread. And here we go. We're going to be collapsing on this. The mine shots, they need to be perfect. And even then, it's not going to be enough. Lambo, he breaks through the army. He gets on top of the 3rd CC. And Lambo, it looks like he has done it. GG gets called. Lambo will take the series 2-1. Eliminating ByuN from the tournament. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. Lambo, he brought it back. He did so well initially. Remember, winding it all back, ByuN went for a 2-base solid. He pulled the boys in a ZVT, pulled the boys, and it didn't work. It failed. He went down to 24 workers compared to the 34 of Lambo. ByuN, he was in a really rough position from that moment, and he just went Super Saiyan, essentially. He just went for constant drop play, constant multi-prong harassment, and he pulled Lambo apart completely. He did come back in that game. ByuN, he was ahead, and Lambo was in a really rough position. The only way to come back, one of the only ways to come back, the base trade. Amidst all this chaos, the base trade did so well for him. Lambo, he eviscerated the economy, and ByuN didn't do enough pushing across the map. He killed a hatchery, killed a couple of workers, but the problem was that there was also Ling Bane back at home to defend. So Lambo, he had enough of an army back at home to keep up with ByuN, and more than enough to counterattack. GG. GG, well played. Lambo moves on. Oh my god. GG, well played. Lambo advances on to the round of 16. The rest of the tournament has been progressing, by the way. The rest of the tournament, like, our series have been so long here, and the rest of the bracket has been progressing. We're getting players getting ready for the semifinals. We're being left behind, but it's like, it's been worth it. It has been worth it.